to his new team.
You mentioned the loss to Toronto last night to a man, whether it's a coach or a player. Each one of them mentioned that loss, so it's in the back of their mind.
And Simmons swooping in, and so the Jazz, they trailed by 40 points at halftime, the biggest deficit in franchise history.
Well, I think we can all concede that Toronto is better than we thought they would be. After all, they only lost one guy, albeit Kawhi Leonard. Again, that's starting to be his go-to move.
Karl Malone, John Stockton, they didn't invent the pick and roll, but they may very well have perfected it.
It's not a wasted movement.
Mitchell coming in at 38%. Having a career season so far. Embiid for three, and down it goes for Joel Embiid. With an analysis on NBC Sports, Philadelphia Plus, it is literally fascinating. Even if you don't bet, I think you'll find it very interesting.
Well, it's a different way of looking at the game, isn't it?
Yep.
I think that's what people talk about with gambling, is it interests you in games you normally wouldn't watch.
Simmons fighting the good fight, just trying to keep his...
Embiid is that aggressive, guys, and I think we've seen that since that Toronto game.
Serena, Tobias is right. Sixers this year, 6-1. When Embiid goes to the line 8 or more times.
Ingles, one of the more approachable guys on this Utah Jazz team. When you talk to him, he readily admit that he's still adjusting to his role. It's hard coming off the bench.
Horford, what a play by Horford to snuff out.
I'm impressed with his versatility. Mark, this is a known shooter. He just posted up Furkan there with a nice little step to him.
Simmons, we mentioned earlier, #1 in the NBA, loose balls recovered. It's a Harris three, and down it goes for Simmons against his boyhood friend Exum, decides to give it up. Horford goes rumbling in. He lays in two. Al Horford, perfect so far. Record career terms of injuries. Jeff Green, the 33-year-old, signing a one-year free agent deal for the minimum. Utah, his 8th different NBA squad, as Al Horford is not missing.
Able to get where he wanted to go, though. Defense on his back.
Simmons was grabbed by Exum. A pointer to his credit, he's got 5. Horford, we should mention, had 12 points in the first quarter, the most first quarter points by a Sixer this year.
You know who Gobert reminds me of? Just hit me now. AC Green. In that limited offensively, but you know what he did, and what Gobert's doing tonight is he's running every time down the floor. And the moment you don't cover him, as Al scores, wearing 44 for the Jazz now.
Thibault, it's for 3. Matisse Thibault has...
here.
Horford that time, I believe, got a piece of the Bojan Bogdanovic shot. There's Simmons working it with Tobias Harris. Ben Simmons, his second. Try to deal with Tobias Harris. Now he's got the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, to promptly block his shot. The collision between Simmons and Royce O'Neal. Hit Simmons, pass intercepted for the 5th Sixer turnover. Leave it to Matisse Thibault. Up for Simmons, who slams for 2.
To nose for the ball. As soon as you saw that lazy cross-court pass and he's nearby, you weren't surprised.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Jazz stuck in mud now. Simmons getting all the way to the hoop, suddenly a 22-point lead. And right now the Sixers are just having their way.
This does not look like the Jazz team we saw a little while ago.
It looks like the Jazz in the 2 previous games on this trip, giving up 121 points in each of those games. 10 of 17 from beyond. That's nearly 50.
Jazz right now, partly because of the 76ers defense, partly of their own making, a little disjointed offensively. Don't bail him out. Played for Coach Pitino at Louisville, did Mitchell. And when you think about his dimensions, 6'3", 215. That is built.
You have an offensive plus, and of course you can always stream the games on the My Teams app. Simmons was aggressive early. They're trailing by as many as 26.
Well, Tobias is complaining, and I get it, but he brought the ball down, and that's when the defenders were able to get a hold of it. From guards, whether it's Bogdanovic or Conley.
The claim by Harris is that Conley hit him on the arm as Simmons scoots past O'Neal and scores. NBC Sports Betcast. See how plays are impacting the lines and odds. It's the NBC Sports Betcast right now. Check it out on NBC Sports.
2s and 3s.
Embiid coming up with a turnover. Joel running the break. Thibault, it's for three. I wouldn't call.
A little out of rhythm. His Herky, he looked indecisive about what he wanted to do. There you go.
No indecision there. Ben Simmons. Bogdanovich, and the Sixers have denied him his looks tonight for sure. Bogdanovich, only 9 points. It's Ennis pushing from beyond, and indeed you are correct. And trust me, Al Horford, Ennis, and a crowd, boy, denied by several Jazz players.
Look clean too.
Simmons got it back. He's got company in Horford. Leaves for Harris, and he's fouled en route to from beyond. Coming off the bench for the first time in a while as we go to Serena.
One of the messages from that timeout, guys, on defense, just stay with your own man. Switching too much, and they just want them to...
For things not to begin to turn my way, and hopefully that's the start of good things to come.
Well, he's too good to be kept down. That's the bottom line. And he's too much of a hard worker, and he's earnest, and he cares. So that formula right there usually winds up being successful.
Ben Simmons with some magic.
5 of them.
The Jazz, the leading teams in the NBA at driving the basketball. They should do that here at the Sixers at the team foul limit.
You don't need to rush.
Ennis eyes up a three.
Pull it back out.
Ennis will try it again.
Defend for 22, 23 seconds.
Joe Ingles, another guy is a threat from three as Simmons goes in and scoops for two. Ben now at 14. Under 2 minutes to go. Mitchell, an out-of-rhythm attempt at a three. And again, the Sixers should be in no particular hurry, holding 12.
You don't need points. You need the clock to keep moving.
Ingles, a crafty move. A couple of Australians.
Either egging him on. Milk the clock, people.
Harris, who's been large here in the fourth. Simmons, the rebound. Don't shoot up. Well, Harris was out of bounds. He hits the three, and Utah has it to single digits for the first time since the Sixers led 36-27, and now it's a hack-a-Ben strategy employed by Quinn